Perfect. It's on. Hey, you guys, thanks for getting on. I know nighttime's crazy, so I'll try and go fast, but I do want to answer all your questions, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of like hanging out with you guys, so sometimes I drag it on a little longer than I should. So there's a couple things that I know that you guys wanted to go over, and I wrote them down, and hopefully I remember. If I miss something, I do have the chat open and I can see it, so you guys are more than welcome to just write anything in there and I'll try and cover it too. So we were talking a little bit earlier today in our newer coach thread with my Coach University girls, and a couple of you guys didn't totally understand Success Club and how you get points and why that's important, and then we're kind of asking like what I focus on to sales. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys so that you can kind of better understand what the goal is and why those things get you points versus the other things not getting you points and all of that. And if you guys have questions while we're going over this, let me know. So basically, you get Success Club points when you help somebody with a challenge pack or when you help somebody with an order of 90, I believe it is. So Shakeology is 90, Energize and Recover is 90. Any products that are over 90 volume and are recurring. So that sounds super confusing. I should make this simpler. So basically, what I try and remember, because this is what most people will order, is challenge packs, and that's because that's where I direct 90% of my people. And then the other is Shakeology, and both of those have to be home directs, and then Energize and Recover. So those are the three things that most of my people go to. It's either a challenge pack, a Shakeology home direct, or a Energize and Recover home direct. I do have a few people that will do like Hydrate and Recover or things like that if they're athletes and they're wanting those things. But these are the three that I focus on, so I don't think you guys need to worry about the other stuff. And you get 2 points for all of those, I believe. Energize and Recover might be 1. Somebody correct me.
It's two.
Okay, so all three of those are 2 points.
If you get the performance pack, it's 2. If you have like separate things that all add up to 90, like if you got a Hydrate and a Recover or whatever, if you had separate orders that add up to 100, it's 1. But if you have the performance pack, it's 2.
Right, and that's what most people are going to want.
Yeah.
They'll want Energize and Recover, so you would just get it to them together. Okay, and so here are my things with home direct, because I know that a lot of people like that totally freaks them out, but here's the thing. Like, when you purchase something on home direct, first of all, you're going to save money on shipping. So that's why I tell anyone, like, even if you're going to cancel it, just order it on home direct, and then if you decide that you don't want it, then it's really simple to get it canceled and you don't have to keep getting it. But you're going to save, like we've done it a couple times where we accidentally just did like a one-time order and it cost us probably like $20 more in shipping. I'm not kidding. So just tell them to do home direct. The reason that you get points for those things is because these are the things that move your business forward, and the corporate office knows that. Those are the things that help you get long-term customers, get people who are in this to move forward. And challenge packs are designed to give your customers the most bang for their buck and give them all the tools. Like, these are all the things that you should be using. And so it really is, like, I feel like I'm giving them a disservice if I don't offer them the challenge pack. And so that's honestly what I go to all the time. I know I still have people who will be like, I just want BOD, and every once in a while I will let that happen, but only after I've told them, like, I strongly suggest you should get this. Here's why. If you end up not liking it, that's fine. But I know that, like, I'm not in the business of convincing. None of us are. Like, if they aren't going to want what I'm using and following the full system, I know they're not going to get the results that I'm getting, but that is ultimately their choice, right? So, like, you have to think about it. Break it down. Shakeology on its own is $130. So getting it in a challenge pack with a full year of BOD and with getting all of Fixate and all of the meal plans and the meal prep in there, it's just a killer deal. And it just has everything. And so especially with our groups and our accountability, like $160 for a full year, you can't even get a gym membership for that. So I feel like you guys need to get very familiar with that and feel very confident in the fact that that's a killer deal and like you're giving them tons of value with that. And once you're in that place, it's really easy to talk to people about because you realize everything that you're giving them is like the total solution. Like you're giving them a coach, you're giving them a support group, you're giving them accountability, you're giving them tracking, you're giving them programs, you're giving them a calendar of a workout, you're giving them recipes to help them succeed. Like it's just so much value. And once you understand that, it's really easy to talk to people about it. So we talked a little bit about that today. Whenever I invite, honestly, I direct most people, and I think I showed that in my response, just straight to a challenge pack, because if you're just giving them the option to figure out what they want, they're not going to know what direction to go because there's so much stuff. And they honestly want you to tell them what they need. That's why they're coming to you. And so I always direct people to a challenge pack. Whenever we have a program launching, I'm usually using that one because that's what we're talking about. Right now, we still have Ultimate Portion Fix add-on so like you can get everything for $200, which is a really amazing deal, especially if you want to deep dive into the foods. So I am talking to a few people about that because I feel like that's important. But if they don't want that, the 160 is where I land. So really, I'm just giving people those two options, and I feel like that's where they should be if they're talking to me. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyone have questions on this? Because I know it can be really confusing in the beginning, but it honestly is pretty simple.
I want to add a comment to that.
Go for it.
One thing that I have noticed is that when people invest the money to do a challenge pack, they're way more committed to the group, to following through with the program, and therefore they have more success. The people that are just like, oh, I'll just get a 3-month membership, or even the people that just get BOD, like they don't take advantage of everything and they're in and out and they don't get the same kind of results. So just from experience, I know that, and part of it is because they have all the tools, but part of it is just that they decided to invest in themselves. And because they do that, they're like, okay, I'm going to do all the stuff. So that's just another side of it that makes it the best thing for them.
And I will say that's like 100% true. Like 3 years in, almost every single person that I've had that's like, I'm just going to do BOD, does their own thing, doesn't check in, disappears in like a month, no matter what I do. And I'm pretty good about checking in with people, but like for whatever reason, I just feel like a lot of times when that's what they do, if you're baby stepping into the process, you're not fully ready to commit. Does that make sense to everyone? And so a lot of times that's what happens. And that as a coach, that's hard because you're like, I want to help you, but if they're not ready, they're not ready. So you just got to do what you can do. But that's why it's really easy for me to go, look, here are your two options. Most people don't even know about BOD only or have issues with that. So it's not a huge problem, but every once in a while I'll run across that issue.
I run across it the most when I do like a trial or something, or with a free group, and then I have people that because it says to them that it's an option. That's really the only time I run into it.
Yeah. So, and that's just a matter of getting good at talking to people and knowing, like, you just get better at like directing people to challenge packs and the options that work best for your people, and then you just don't run into that as often. So like that's true. And when we do free groups or whatever, and they see that, I do run into that every once in a while.
That's mostly when I run into it, and it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, yep. Okay. So, you guys wanted to go over the sweatsuit to swimsuit group. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. I do this group every year, it just, for some reason, gets I don't know, it just gets a good response. And so I always do it. It really is just going to be a challenge group. I'm just switching things up, still using the challenge tracker. Nothing's really different. We're just going to be focusing more on that book. So we're going to be talking more about like life and how to get positive, and using the tools that she lays out in that book, and getting them in a workout program and on a schedule. And we're going to talk a little bit about food and recipes and the normal things that we talk about. We're going to make it just a little bit more fun with some prizes and stuff in there. I feel like whenever I do that, that really helps me find people who need a good, I don't know, it just helps me find people who are ready to like stick with it, because it's like a good incentive. And then when you get solid people sticking with something for a full month, it really helps for me to retain people, if that makes sense. Like people are more willing to stay a little bit longer when we incentivize. So it's something that I'm looking at doing every month if this month goes well. And so I'm actually really excited about it. Before, when we've done it, it's been really good. And it's fun, and it's good for me because it's stuff that I need to focus on. And the book was really good, so I'm excited to read it again and pull out the things for everybody that's going to be in there. It will be super solid. I know Emily's doing something different, so like you don't always have to follow what I'm doing, but I feel like my groups are good. I've been doing this for a while. You're more than welcome to just throw your people in there. But if you do that, I want you to make sure that you're showing up. And I want you to be cheering on the people that you're bringing in there. Like, you're always a challenger. I'm always a challenger. You're always a challenger. We're always on our journey. That's like the main thing that you should always be doing as a coach. This is also good for you guys because it will help you to stay more accountable. And then you can talk more about your journey as well. If you're getting results, your people are going to be watching you get results. And when you show the results that you're getting, even if you're just talking about how you're feeling, or just new muscles that you're seeing, that's what people are looking for. The book that we're using is called Now Is Your Time. It's by Nick Pigeon, and it's really, really good. It's really, really, really good. So it's just about, she's a positive psychologist, so she talks about her story, obviously, and then the positive psychology tools that she uses in her daily life just to live a positive life, and it's really good. And they're really simple. That's why I like it too. It's like super simple, obvious things that we need to incorporate in our life and we forget about. So it's going to be good. Okay. Any more questions about that? I feel like I'm just like throwing stuff at you guys. No? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I just wanted, oh wait, do you want to talk a little bit about the guys group? Or not really?
Sure.
They're kind of winging it. It's new, so we'll see.
Yeah, I messaged 3 or 4 guys, my friends. It was, I don't know if it was the best way to go about it or not, but I do social media for my job every day at Tuacahn. And so when I get home, I'm sick of it and I don't do it. So my own personal social media stuff has been like non-existent for years and years and years. So I messaged a bunch of friends, mission friends, and just some friends from back in the day, and just said, hey, I'm just trying to get back into stop being a social media hermit kind of a thing. And I just wanted to get back in touch with you, and I wanted to invite you to this group, and thought it would be cool if we could get back in touch and also lose a couple of pounds at the same time, kind of a deal. That's as far as it's really gotten. I messaged the 4 other guys that were in the last call, just to see where we wanted to start or how anyone else thought that we should do, if we want to do the same workout, or if we all just wanted to pick our own programs and just hold each other accountable. I wanted to make it super basic and easy, just because a lot of guys don't care necessarily about like reading the book together or whatever it is. Like, we just want to do the workout and like have somebody telling us that like you need to do your workout or good job doing your workout. Like, we're all kind of a team kind of a thing.
Jess, that's awesome. And Camel, he could totally do it. It's, if nothing else, he's a success story for you, you know? Like, you can talk about his results if he doesn't want to do the social media thing but wants to do his own thing in the journey. So you guys are more than welcome to use that. I will say you're not totally absent. I totally tag him all the time on social media, so they know what we're doing. So it wasn't like a total like what, because they see him working out all the time and they follow me too. So.
And I did pick friends that had like either been watching Heidi's stories or had asked questions about challenges or coaching before.
Yeah.
So it was very easy to pick these ones and so to know that they would already know what I'm talking about and what I'm doing.
But for the record, I will say he did message me today and say, I feel like I'm going to puke. So just so you know, everyone loves inviting so much. It gets easier. It really does. But I do think it's harder when you're messaging people that you know really well. I don't know.
It's 1,000 times harder.
It really is. So we'll see. But they are all people who've already, like, I think all of them have talked to me. And I've been like, we can talk about it. But that's as far as it's gone. So we'll see. Okay. And yes, all of you guys are welcome to jump in there. Like I said, like, even if the group is only our husbands or whatever, I just feel like that's a solid way to keep you guys accountable, and those are more success stories for us, right? Like, the more we get people to stay on their journey and like stick to a plan, that helps me be more accountable, and that just gives me something else to talk about. Like, I think all of our followers are following like our journey, because that's why they follow us, but I think sometimes it's fun to be able to share their stuff too. So I'm excited to have something to talk about other than myself. It's kind of weird to talk about yourself all the time. Let's be real. Or maybe it's just me that feels that way. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about you guys' Oh, did you guys have any questions? Sorry.
Can I just say a couple calendar things before you move on to
go for it.
Okay, so just for my girls and really anyone else too is always welcome to my groups too, but I'm going to do a coach sneak peek this week. If anyone needs to invite to something fresh for coaching this week, I'm going to do it on Thursday. So if anyone wants to hop in that, you're welcome to. And then my next group starts on the 6th. And I might just still do sweatsuit to swimsuit, because I've done that with Heidi before, and like she said, it's a great one. So I might do that. I might do something else. I don't know. One thing I'm going to try and do, because I'm really good at inviting to challenge groups, but not so hot at coaching. So I'm going to try and do like an every other week thing, like invite to coaching for a week, invite to challenge group for a week. So I kind of have 2 start dates. I tend to have an ongoing group, but my biggest start date is always at the beginning of the month. And then I think I'll have kind of a soft start date and make myself invite to coaching every other week.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That's my plan right now.
I like the whole challenger coaching thing. So I do that in 2-week increments. I think we talked about that last week. So I do 2 weeks of challenge group, 2 weeks of coaching, 2 weeks of challenge group, 2 weeks of coaching. But when I was just trying to get the hang of the coaching thing, where I was like, I need to just invite to this just like I invite to challenge groups. Because really, it's essentially the same thing, but for whatever reason, it just feels different. So I just needed to get into that habit of being like, just invite to coaching. Like, these people are watching you, just invite to the coaching thing. I did that. I did 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. And it, like, after that month, I was like, oh, it's like exactly the same. I'm getting like the exact same responses just for coaching. Like, it really, you're just hitting different people with a different mindset, different idea with what you're doing. So it's a good way to get into the habit of doing that. But like I said, I do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I've done that. Well, I've meant to do that before, but it was really mostly invite to challenge group and throw in a few coach invites. But one thing clicked for me, and this might help some of the rest of you too, is I was kind of feeling like I could only invite to coaching people who were already like fitness people on social media. And that was partly what has been holding me back, because that wasn't necessarily my target. And so then I was like, well, I don't have enough people to invite that are already fitness people to coaching. But one thing that kind of clicked with me is, and this is nothing that you haven't heard before, is one of the biggest reasons that I started coaching was because I wanted accountability, greater accountability for my own personal journey. So that's a reason for me to invite another mom down the street straight to coaching. And she may say yes, she may say no. She may just want to start as a challenge group, but the coaching invite can be the lead in to that, because so on my weeks, I think that I'm going to invite more to coaching. I'm going to be talking about that aspect a lot on my social media, because my target really is more moms like me as opposed to other fitness people, if that makes sense.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. And this is why you talk about your journey, because I think like I've been in that mindset before too, where I was like, oh, I have to find people who are obsessed with fitness or whatever. But like when I broke it down and started talking about why I'm here and what I like about being here and the things that are working for me here, a lot of it is this. Like, I love having a community of people. Yep. And I love being able to like have girl things or couples things, because we were awful about being social, like totally awful about being social. Like, we wanted to, but we didn't make time for it. So being able to be like, this is part of my business, I'm going to have a girls' weekend that's part of my business, was like amazing. And so, I mean, that's a big part of why I'm here. Like little things like that you don't think people are looking for, but they really, really are. And so just being able to like talk about those little aspects, first of all, makes a mindset shift for you, right? Because then you're like, oh, like that's a big part of why I'm here. Also makes it easier to invite, because then you're like, okay, who wouldn't want that? Like, I get it now, if that makes sense. So
it's still kind of silly that it's an aha moment at this point of my business, but sometimes things randomly, like warmish invites to that. Like before, I would invite challengers who weren't fitness people, but anyway.
Right.
So hopefully that helps you, and you guys can learn it like right now instead of
ASAP.
Instead of when you're already a diamond. So
yes. Well, and I think it's honestly, like in the beginning, I was so afraid to like grow my business, like grow with coaches. But honestly, those are the people who get the most benefit out of what we do, whether they're discount coaches or coaches. And so at this point in my business, like that's my driving force. I would rather have somebody join as a coach, knowing that they want this for long term, that they are ready to dive in, that they like, those are the people that are going to stick with you. The people that stick with me longer, the more I can help, And so like, it's just something to consider and think about. Like, why are you here? Most of you want to reach more people. You want to help more people. You can't help people who come in and come out, like who come in for 2 weeks and are gone after 2 weeks. So that's why coaching for me is like a big, like I'm always going to talk about it in one aspect or another, because I feel like those are the people that I can help more long term, whether it's just like life or health and fitness. But I honestly think they usually collide. So that is my goal. Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about that. Basically, we're going to just talk a little bit about growing your business and any limiting beliefs, and just kind of go over them, because for me, sometimes just being able to like type those things out and realize like, okay, this is just my head, is really important. And also to see that like other people have felt that or see those things or whatever. So I want you guys to connect what you want for your life with this business. Because I think sometimes we do this and we feel like they're not correlating together when really they should be. Like, you should be doing these things for your life things. Does this make sense, what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to ask you, and this is going to be super hard, so if you guys want to type it out, you can, and I can spend a second and talk about some of mine. But I just want you guys to take a second, whether you're going to type it out or if you want to just write it for yourself, and just put out the limiting beliefs that you have right now that you feel like are keeping you stuck or making it hard for you to move forward in your business or in life. Let's just talk about a few of them. If you want to type them, you can. If you don't want to share, that's fine too. For me, let's see. I feel like sometimes it's like, I'm quiet. Like, why would anyone want to listen to me? I love that one, Emily. That one is so huge. If you haven't been through that thought process, I don't know anyone who hasn't, honestly. His mom. So she said, I can't be the kind of mom I want to be and the kind of leader I want to be. And or thinking. I think this is where we get stuck all of the time, right? Like when life gets super overwhelming, it's like, I can't do it both. But how many times, Emily, have you had like a really good business day and then turned around and had like a really good mom day? Like when you're in a good space, do you feel like you're like, yeah, better mom, right?
Totally. I know that. When I get bogged down with mom life and I'm not able to, because it's a constant balancing act to create harmony with the two. And it constantly is ebbing and flowing and changing in terms of how I work it into my life. And so I think I tend to, I know a lot of the time I like if I'm struggling in my business, I'm like, well, it's because my family needs me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy for me to say that instead of just being like, okay, I've got this much time. I'm going to be ultra intentional and then I'm going to go be mom and it's enough.
Right.
So,
okay.
And I think there's also some level of saying, okay, at this stage in life, like, let's look at what my goals are. I'm not shooting for top 10 coach at this moment. Right. So I just know it's still there underneath, but I've done a lot of work on it already. So.
Oh, you guys, these are so good. Okay. And I want you guys, after we talk about them, I want you, if you haven't already, hopefully Emily has already written some sort of like combated that belief with a affirmation, because I have a few that like when I go running or if I'm doing something else, I have to like start repeating them like out loud, because I need to remember like this is just a thought. Just because I'm thinking it doesn't make it true. And I feel like that kills so many people's momentum, that if they have a thought and they automatically think, oh crap, that's totally true. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of the others of these. Okay, we just did that one. Working full-time, being mom, and coaching. I don't give all to any of it. Oh my gosh, I've totally thought that one before. So you kind of feeling like I am just giving half myself to momming and half myself to coaching. I can't go all in on all of it. I had a really hard time with that one and I still have a hard time with that one sometimes. I feel like, what do you think being all in as a parent is? Is it weird if I ask that? I'll just say for me, like I used to feel like, and we were talking about this today actually. So not used to, I still feel like I have this thing when Jackson is home or doesn't have school. If I'm not working or paying like 100% attention to him or making sure he gets to what he's doing, or I'm not cleaning the house or something, like I can't just relax during the day. And maybe guys think differently. So Matt's always like, what the heck? Like, just take 5 minutes and do something for you. He's totally fine. But I think as parents, we have this like idea that we have to be like always attentive to everything that they're doing and totally like the perfect parent, especially now because there's so many opinions about what the perfect parent is. And I feel like the same goes for coaching. Like you're always like, oh, I have to be answering everyone's questions all the time, and I have to be checking on people every day and seeing where they're at. And this person's not checking in, so I need to make sure that I'm seeing what's up with them and all of these things. And that got super overwhelming to me. Almost like you're parenting your coaches and your challengers, and then you're parenting your kid at the same time. And I was like, I can't be like perfect for everybody. And I think that's what it comes down to. You're thinking like, I have to be everything for everybody. And this has been something that I'm working on a lot this year, is just realizing like we're all in a different place. I don't know what all of you guys are going through all the time, but I am 100% here. If you have questions, I want you to know that I'm available. I'm happy to talk to you. But also at the same time, I know that you guys have to go through your own things and go through your own processes and figure things out for yourself. So like, I don't mind working through them with you, but at the same time, I know that I can't do them for you. And the same thing goes for my challengers. Like I have so many that come to me and buy and then show up in the challenge tracker for a few weeks and then totally disappear. And I'll try and talk to them and they won't respond back. And I used to feel like the worst coach in the world because these people were like disappearing. And finally, I'm just like, you know what? Some of them are getting results on their own and they just don't want, like they just want to do their own thing. And I have to let them do that. And some of them are going to come around later and they do. And I'm here. And so my only job is to let them know I'm here and that I want to help them, but I can't do it for them. So I can't stress about the fact that they're not doing what they could be doing, because that makes me feel imperfect. Jackson, hey dude. That makes me feel like a bad coach, and then that takes away my energy from the people who are ready and willing and talking to me and jumping in, and I need my energy for that. So it really is just a matter of realizing what we're doing right and stopping our brains from focusing on all the things that we're doing wrong, because there's no way to do this perfect, parenting or coaching. You just give it your best, and honestly, that's your all, right? They know you're there, both your kids and coaching, and you know where you need to be when you need to be. If you need to check out and focus on your kids for a little bit, then do so. And then when they go to bed and you have goals to hit, then you go work on your goals. If you're having trouble balancing, check into the group, say, guys, I need a pep talk today. Like, that's what we're here for. But you can only do so much. So I want you guys to remember that too. Like, you can't, as much as we would all love to be perfect, we're all just doing our best to help people. And as long as your intentions are good, I feel like your kids will see that, your spouse will see that, and your challengers will see that. And those that don't aren't worth your stress and your energy. So hopefully that helps. So I want you to write something down about that.
I'll add one thing too.
Right.
One thing that really helps me with that too is setting like 1 or 2 big priorities each day. So it's like, okay, as a mom, these are the 1 or 2 things that are my main priority. As coaching, these are my 1 or 2 things that are my main priority, or whatever, in the different roles that I have. And then anything else is bonus. And that allows me to feel successful because I can accomplish the 1 or 2 things. And also it helps me keep some semblance of balance.
Annie?
crazy.
Yes.
And then I have days like today that I just had to unplug most of the day and clean my house. So.
See, and those are the days where you go, this is just one of those days. I'm going to do the essentials because we don't drop the ball on the essentials, and then do what I need to do because this is what this day is. And that's fine. That's how things go. Okay. Oh, you guys are so good. So, Sierra, this one is,
I'll get one.
about this one for days. So she said, I'm not getting good enough results for people to notice. I keep dropping the ball on nutrition and it's setting me back a lot, which makes me feel like a crappy coach. Okay, so if you saw my post today, I have been dropping the ball mega on nutrition, which makes me feel like crap for reals. Not necessarily because I feel like, it used to be because I feel like a crappy coach, but I feel like at this point it's like, we're human. Like, we are human people. And nobody is coming to your feed to see that you never ever have a piece of sugar and that you're perfectly fit. Like, who wants, I personally, I want good results and I have reasons for those good results, but I don't think people are like most people. I feel like I struggle getting more people because I'm in a different place with what I do fitness wise, and that's not relatable to people. But if you talk about you're struggling, but you're going to set some goals and you're going to reset, if you're more open about that, first of all, you're going to be more accountable to yourself. Second of all, you'll feel better because you're being honest and people are like connecting with that. You're not feeling like I'm lying as a coach. Because let's be real, like when you're like just talking about coaching and you're like, I'm not doing what I feel like you just start to feel like a disconnect there. Just be honest. Be like, this is where I'm at. I feel like, first of all, imagine where I would be if I wasn't doing my workout while this insanity is going on and I'm not eating how I want to eat, right? Because we all know that would be a whole different level. So talk about that. And then secondly, just talk about how you're going to move forward and what you're going to do. And if you need to baby step it, or if you know that you need to take it back, and so you're going to take it back for a little bit because you're human and you're going through some other things and you're going to focus on your workouts. Like, just be honest with people and let them know, like, you get it, you understand life, this is the kind of coach that you are, you're here to support people in those things too, and you're going to implement things as they're needed in your life. Like, just be honest. Even personal trainers are not like 100% all the time. I promise you. People that do like the fitness competitions, I have friends that do the physique and stuff things, and like when they're on, but when they're off. And they hate that roller coaster, but they have to be honest with people about that too. Like, life is about finding what works for you, and so don't feel like you need to get to this certain place unless that's where you want to be. So just talk about what you're doing and where you're at. Does that make sense? Because I hate feeling like I have to be perfect. I try really hard to just like be honest about where I'm at and why I'm focusing on different things. So
I'll add on to that too. That's a good opportunity to talk about all the other things that this is doing for you, like the community, like that you are feeling stronger, that you're feeling good, like all the other wins. And it really isn't about perfection. I mean, if you look at who the top coach right now is, Ashley Molstad, and she talks all the time about imperfection. Like, she talks about how she loves to party and that she drink like her fancy drinks that she has all the time. And like, she is very much about imperfection. That's a big part of her brand. And, you know, she's, while she has a transformation because she had a baby and she's lost her baby weight, she's a big part of what she talks about is that she's not perfect. And so I don't think that needs to make you feel like a crappy coach. I think it just makes you more relatable, because it's harder for people to relate to someone that can just say, oh, I'm going to do this program, and then they do it 100% with zero mess ups. Like, that's hardly anybody. And that's awesome if you can do that and want to do that. And I've had times when I've been more on like that. But you're also just as relatable when you're not, if you're sharing it.
yeah.
So. you're not a crappy coach.
Well, and think about that. How many people are going to want to join you? Sorry, I'm reading these at the same time. I shouldn't be doing that. So, like, how many people are going to, out of everybody who's watching you, how many people want to be healthier? Like, probably 100% of people watching you. But how many people of those 100% want to get into a situation where they're going to feel like they're crappy and they're not doing it 100% all of the time? Nobody. So they want to join with somebody who's going to be like, look, I get it. I feel the same way. This is helping me with this and this and this. I'm not perfect here, but I'm trying to get better here. Like Emily said, it's just really relatable. Nobody wants to feel like if they're not doing everything perfect that they're failing. And we want people to understand that too. Okay. And then, so I hope you guys are writing some of this stuff down so you can tell yourselves this. Okay. Taylor and Sierra. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about your brand. And I feel, Matt can tell you, we've talked about this one 1,000,001 times because I feel very similar. If you guys watch my stuff at all, we're kind of in a weird situation too. And I feel like this just in our, like where we live and with everyone, I just feel like most people don't have a 12-year-old at our age and then know other kids. And so we're in a weird life situation too. So I understand how that feels super unrelatable. Yes. But none of you guys are in my same situation, and we found something to connect on. Yeah? So, I just talk about the other things that do connect me to people. Like, yeah, our life situation is a little bit different, but I have really bad anxiety. Lots of people who follow me really relate to how I'm very open about talking about that and how fitness really helps me to deal with that, and why I became a coach because of that, because that helps me with that area of my life. And even when I'm not perfect on it, like it's a roller coaster, sometimes it's going really well and sometimes it's not. But when I talk about that and I utilize my business for that, that connects me to a lot of people. So sometimes it's just like the little things, like school and trying to work out. So many people relate to that, like trying to fit in a workout routine and being busy with school, but knowing that you need this to be able to do well in those other areas. I can't even tell you how great it would have been for me if I had to focus like this much on my health as a college student. So many people can relate to that.
And busy is busy. Like, yeah. You're busy with it. It may be school and getting ready for a wedding or whatever. And I'm busy with 5 kids. Like, we're both busy. We're both finding ways to fit it in.
I need to drink the milk.
He's so cute. Okay. But like, there's other things too. Like, I mean, you guys tell us some things about you, because I feel like that we could totally pick out brand stuff for you guys. I feel like if you guys started talking, because there's so many things like getting married. I mean, so many people, the stress of a wedding, but still wanting to feel good when you have your wedding day. Like, so many people would relate to that and want to be on that journey with you. Even if they're not going through a wedding, like, so many people are going to watch that and relate to that. We've all been there. I would totally watch that and cheer you on, because it is so stressful. So just, I mean, little things. It doesn't need to be. I know that Instagram looks like it's full of moms with 5 kids who are totally perfect and just share holiday photos and whatever, because that's how I feel right now when it's like, oh, we only have 1 kid and it's so weird. Like, it's just what you see when you're feeling awkward about something. Like, it honestly is. It just, you suddenly start to see everything that you're lacking. So it really, I mean, if you need help picking some things for your brand, then let's take 5 minutes and just talk about any little thing. Because it's even quirky things. Like, when I first started, Matt was really into Pokemon, and I talked about being a Pokemon wife, and that connected me to a lot of like really just funny women who had husbands who are into nerdy things. Like,
Hey.
I love your nerdy things. I don't know. It just little things. I feel like it doesn't need to be. We all feel like we're in a weird life stage in some way or another. I feel like so.
I was going to say this before Mason came in so delightfully. So this is a really good visual, I think. This is from Ashley Smith, and I posted this for my girls once. But if you think of yourself like this color wheel, and you have so many different things about yourself, and so brainstorm what all those things are, and you can even think outside of the box on how that relates to other people. Like you're saying you're busy. Well, there's a lot of other people who are busy and can relate to that. But like, what are your hobbies? You know, and maybe you're so busy you're like, what are my hobbies? Because sometimes I feel that way. But it's like
about that. I don't
yeah.
know. Hobbies is relatable.
Or even like the things that you used to do when you did have more time. Like, what are the things that you love, and those that make up, you know, all the different pieces of you? Those are different things that you can post about and relate to other people. And even, I mean, I remember Micah saying her target market is people who want more.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So that's a pretty wide net. And so it doesn't have to be your exact same stage of life. So I don't know. That's a couple of ideas for you guys to think about in that.
Yes.
There's so many different ways to relate to people. It doesn't have to be same stage of life, but it could be aspects of your stage of life too. So.
Yep. I love that. I will also like weird random things. I have a lot of people that follow me just because they have red hair. Like just weird random things. Like freckles, and I talk about getting sunburned all the time. And so I just like redhead problems. Like I have people that follow me just because I'm a redhead. Like just little things. You can connect with people on the simplest things.
Yeah, I've seen people like your dog, Sierra, too. Like there's people that talk about their dogs all the time and hashtag that. I've seen someone who does like cool braids that, you know, connect. That's like one of her things, or her braids.
Yeah, like Jaylyn. I don't know if you guys know Jaylyn, but when she was building her brand, she seriously built it on like makeup tutorials because she just likes makeup. So she would just like do makeup tutorials for free and show people how she built relationships that way, and then would share her fitness journey. Like.
Yeah, I think we get stuck in this box of stage of life when really there's so many other things that you can connect with people on.
And when you're feeling that, because I do feel like that pops into my head all the time because I do feel that way. Like in the smallest moments, like we'll go to church and I'm like, I feel like we don't connect with anyone. We're so weird just because we're in this weird life stage. But really, like, I always think of you guys because I'm like, nobody on my team is in the same life phase that I'm in, but we're still, like, I'm still connecting and building relationships here. These are strong friendships for me, and we're not in the same life phase at all. So that's just something to always, that's the way that I combat it anyways. So something to remember. So really, we can even talk about that in the thread tonight. I'm totally fine doing that. Like, take a minute, write a list of things that you think like are your brand, and we'll tell you how you can utilize them or be like whatever, but just try not to get too many. I think that's when it's complicated. So just write like 5 things that you're like, these are things that I could connect with people on, that I feel good about and I'd want to talk about a lot, because you want it to be something that you want to share and that you feel like would bring in your people.
I don't know if it's this way for you or for anybody else, but there are certain things that I know, like I'm a dog mom, I'm engaged, like certain things, and it's easy to pick out those things, but it's hard to find creative hashtags to go with those, because like there are millions of hashtag engaged posts every day that are just spam or like dog mom. And so it's really hard to like pinpoint creative things that people will see that aren't too obscure but are not too broad. And I think that's where it's tricky.
Okay, so I'm gonna be really honest about this. We've had the hashtag conversation twice, I think, in the last week with different people. But I hashtag in my stories a lot, but I rarely hashtag on my posts for that reason, because everyone who's hashtagging is searching for people to follow their business, I feel like, or they're like already doing what we do or something like that, you know, like it's just not as popular as it used to be. Like your friends on, at least this is what was the thing for me, is I looked at all my friends' posts, people that I was connecting with on the regular. I was like, none of these people are hashtagging anymore. They're not like looking at hashtags. So I don't use them. So a lot of, I location tag a lot, because you can location tag anywhere. So I use that to connect with a lot of people. And then I'm just really, really good about using target accounts to find people to bring in. So, and stories work really well for me. So I will hashtag in stories. I will location tag in stories. I will like tag other people and share when people tag me. But hashtags just have never worked really well for me for exactly what you're saying. But when I go to a target account that I feel like these are my people, and then I share those things, those end up being the people that stay. Does that make sense? So maybe Emily is different on this, but that's just what has been, that works better for me.
I haven't been using hashtags for a couple months because I was kind of feeling the same way. Like they were all just business accounts. But what kind of hashtags are you using on your stories besides locations?
So yeah, I do locations, but then I will hashtag just funny things, like, because I feel like in stories, people are searching for relatable people that they can follow. So I will hashtag like gluten-free when I post our recipes, or dairy-free when it's something about Jackson, or allergy problems, or redhead problems, or whatever I'm talking about. So I hashtag that in my stories all the time, because I feel like that brings me people more than hashtagging does in my posts.
That's good to know, because I haven't been doing it in my stories either. So,
and you can hashtag a ton of things, so you don't have to use the hashtag, like whatever it is, the little hashtag, I don't know, in your stories, like the actual one. You can actually type out a bunch of hashtags, like just in type, and make them small and like swipe them to the side of your picture or hide them so they aren't showing on your story. Does that make sense?
Oh.
So you don't have to just hashtag one thing. You can type and hashtag a bunch of things and then make them white and make them really small and swipe them or put them behind stuff on your stories. So you won't even see them, but they'll be there.
Nice.
Because if you think about it, those are that, like when I'm searching for stuff, I'll search hashtags, but I'm going to stories. Like I want to hear somebody tell me or show me instead of just look at a picture. But I love looking at people's feeds. But if I'm going to search for something, that's what I'm normally going to do. So that's usually how I think about finding people, is like, what would I do? Or what are my friends doing? Because it changes, obviously. Because a year ago, hashtags was totally different. So, okay. Hopefully that answered everything. All right. Oh, let's see. There was one more. Oh, Taylor. So how someone could buy BOD. Okay. So I don't know, maybe we haven't gotten to this in training yet. I tell all my coaches to download the app BB Links, because all you have to do is put in your link and then it has your direct link for everyone. So that way I can just like go to Challenge Pack, copy the link and send it. Or you can always use Share Cart, and I can do a quick phone video on how to do that and customize it for somebody and send it. It's really fast. but it's guaranteed to never mess up, which is why it's so I use it a lot for, especially when I'm signing a coach. I almost always do a share cart. And it's
I
really-
only do share a cart now. Ever since we have it, I don't even send links. I only do share a cart because it's so
Nice.
easy.
it really is easy.
But when I do a share a cart, I always send them the link as well as the auto email that they get from Beachbody, because I've had glitches before where for some reason they didn't get the email. So I just always send them the link and then say, like, you should also have an email from Beachbody with the same link.
Yeah, I always copy the link.
Yep.
And it like prompts you to at the end of it. I'll do a quick share cart demo on my phone and post it into the New Coach University so you guys can see how to do it. It's super simple and it never messes up, so it's nice.
Unless you put the wrong coaching ID in there and then you're making someone else money.
Yeah, don't do that.
Did you do that? Did you get it fixed? Good.
Yeah, luckily one of my girlfriends was one of the first to sign up and she was like, dude, this isn't your name. I was like, oh my gosh, no.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not good. Luckily, you can fix it. There is a coach switch thing, but that's a pain. So try not to do that. That's funny. Okay. I don't want to keep you guys all night, but I really want you guys to like think about those things, especially when I'm getting stuck. I was making like a list yesterday. Okay, like what's getting in my head? What's keeping me from progressing? Like, what do I need to combat? Is this true? Isn't this true? Like, sometimes you just need to, like, actually think about those things or talk to somebody who can tell you that your head's being stupid. I don't do that. Any of you guys that are going to Summit or Summit Recognition, your deadline is May 2nd, I believe it is. Don't make that face, Emily. You can totally get there.
I know I can.
One star.
I'm having a good month, so.
You are having a good month. You're doing awesome. So, hopefully I want to see a bunch of you guys advance. That would be awesome. And I'm way excited. The Atomic Habits book was like one of my favorites this year. So I'm way excited about that, to see him there. Those of you guys who aren't going, I promise you we will share lots of videos. Definitely watch. It's fun. And then plan on being at the Super Saturday the week after that. Is it the week after that? Or 2 weeks after that? It's pretty soon after.
It is. It's 2 weeks after.
So 2 weeks after.
It's like the 26th and Summit's the 11th through the 13th. So 2 weeks.
2 weeks after. So I'll probably hit up Salt Lake again. I've done Vegas a couple times, but it's just not as good. I like going to Salt Lake, so that's probably where I will go. Plus, a lot of you guys are up there, so that's fun.
We like it when you come.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions or things you guys want to go over before I let you go? Any coaching questions? It doesn't have to be. I just want to make sure we're getting everything answered.
Oh, I have a quick question.
Yes.
About Success Club points. So I just finished my free group and had 3 girls in the process of getting the 4th one to buy a challenge pack, but it's not showing up in my Success Club as counting as points. Is that because they had already like purchased something by getting the free trial, or will it just show up later? Okay.
It's just slow.
I just want to make sure. I was like,
Sometimes it will even take a few days, so don't freak out.
Okay.
You're seeing their orders come through.
Yeah.
So it will happen. That is awesome.
That's way awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
You should be. That's
Because
awesome.
you were all in on that group and you ran an awesome group and
Getting the
It
reward.
was hard. I kind of regretted choosing to post both in the morning and at night every day because it was a lot. So now that I'm starting my new group, starting today for prep week, I'm posting once a day. That's it, because I can't do that. But no, I'm excited. And I think I have 5 other girls I've signed up like in previous months. And almost all of them have been like dwindling a lot. And so I retitled this group Refocus because I want to refocus on my stuff. And I know that they need to as well. So I'm hoping to get some of them more involved and maybe either be interested in coaching or pick up their Shakeology order again or something. But mostly just get them back involved in the group.
Well, that's a good reason to talk about coaching because there are a few girls that like when they need that. And so sometimes when you're like, I want you to be more consistent, this is what I think will make you the most successful. You do what you want to do. But some people are like, oh, you're right. That's what I need. So it's a good opportunity to talk about that. That's awesome. Are you doing your own group all by yourself?
I am. I'm trying.
Go you. Holy cow.
One thing I'll do for you to help you out, since you're going to do this one on your own, I'll add you as an admin to the group that I'm currently doing because I'm almost ready to close it out too. When I do May's group, I'm going to make it a new one. And then you'll have access to all my posts. And this one's been going for like since January. So you'll have, you can copy any of those into your group. That should
yes, that would be awesome.
Save you time because you can edit them. And anyway.
Super simple.
Thank you.
I'll add you as an admin on that. But I miss your face in my group.
I know. For a while, I was trying to post in both, and I kept forgetting one of them. And I was like, I can't do this.
We get it. I miss Emily. I'm like, did you have to fly the nest? Did you have to do your own thing? But it's okay.
I know.
If it makes you guys more
every so often I come back and do a group with you, so.
It's true. It's true. I like having lots of people in there, so like it's really fun for me. But then that's more incentive for me to get more new coaches. So when those of you guys feel like that's what will make you more successful is to do your own group, then
that's totally what we want. Like that's what we want you to do. We want you to figure out how to get Success Club, and then we want you to figure out how to do a group, and so it just perpetuates. But you can always come back at like you're always welcome anytime to piggyback on our groups. Like just because you've started doing a group on your own doesn't mean that you can never come back and just add your people to my group. Like you're always welcome.
And sometimes a bigger group's fun, and sometimes you need a break from posting. You'll get there. You figure it out as you go. Phase of life.
Awesome. Good job, Sierra.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Any other questions? You guys are rock stars. You're killing this month. Like, I'm super impressed. Okay. Well, thanks for getting on. I know it's a sacrifice. You guys are amazing. I love you, and we'll talk to you next week. And if you need to talk more, the message group is always open. So, okay. Bye, guys.
Yeah.